Hello, everyone. I hope everyone had a great break, got some extra coffee, maybe some snacks. Awesome. Hope you got some extra coffee. Not that you'll need it, because our next session is going to be quite an awesome one. Anybody who's going to get up on stage and tell you how to sell teddy bears to grown men, I think we could all pay attention and probably learn something. So our next speaker is Miss Liz LaVallee. We're very excited to have her here today. Vermont Teddy Bear, I'm sure you're familiar with the brand, maybe in some form or fashion, but has really entered the Amazon space about 2010 and grown to quite a successful 8-figure business on Amazon. As Liz maybe will share in her presentation, it's one of 4 different lines of business under the master brand. But we have the pajamagrams, some interesting angles on new avenues and new product distribution. Liz has had many different roles in her life at Vermont Teddy Bear. I think starting in digital marketing and then launching different products. Yesterday at the Women's Mastermind, we learned a lot about her trials and tribulations of growing teams and growing businesses. Her motto is to fail fast, fail cheap, keep growing and keep innovating. So we learned a lot yesterday. We're excited to continue to learn today. So thank you, Liz.
Thank you. Good morning. Can everyone hear me? Is my mic on? Pretty good? Okay, cool. Well, today I'm really here to tell you about a journey that my company kind of embarked on and how we were able to evolve and grow as a business by developing, as Peter just talked about, an Amazon strategy. So it wasn't that long ago in my company's history that Amazon wasn't a part of our strategy, and our business was really rooted in more traditional media. So the title of the slide refers to mail order. Mail order catalogs were a big part of our business, as well as radio advertising and TV advertising. So we're kind of rooted in these traditional medias. And in addition to that, we really were kind of like a one-hit wonder. We had one type of customer, adult men, and we had one buying occasion the whole year, Valentine's Day. So we went out there on radio, TV, and talked to men about convincing them, hey, you need a great gift for your wife for Valentine's Day, buy a Vermont teddy bear. And that was really what I want to talk to you about today is about how we discovered Amazon and how it really helped us grow and diversify our business. There we go. So first, just a little bit more background about who the brand is to kind of help set the stage for this story. So Vermont Teddy Bear was founded in 1981 by a man named John Sortino, who was really dismayed after he had a son, and he was kind of checking out his son's stuffed animals and realized that none of them were made in America anymore. So his wife was a sewer, and he went into her sewing room, and he made a teddy bear for his son. And he had friends and family that started to see the bear and ask if he could make one for them. And then he actually started selling them on a cart in Church Street in Burlington, Vermont. And it was a very touristy area. He started having people ask if he could ship them home for them. And that was kind of how this mail order, direct-to-consumer business was born back in the 80s. And then we were really early adopters of e-commerce and started our first Yahoo store website in the 1990s. So today we are the largest manufacturer of teddy bears in North America. And this is where our offices are. We're in Shelburne, Vermont, just outside of Burlington. And we have everything here. We're very vertically integrated. We have everything here from our product development, sourcing teams, all the way through marketing, e-commerce, advertising, to our warehouse and distribution center, as well as our customer service and contact center. But as Katie mentioned in the intro, Vermont Teddy Bear is actually a lot more than teddy bears, because over the years, we've kind of developed this model that we then launched and grew a lot of homegrown brands. So I actually do not just work for Vermont Teddy Bear, I work for all of the brands that you see up here today. And the first one being Pajamagrams, actually our largest business in terms of revenue, sells pajamas for the whole family. We also own a denim brand, Pajama Jeans. And then our most recent brand we started about a year ago, called Addison Meadow, that sells loungewear for women. So what we kind of have in common, all these brands kind of share the same formula in terms of our direct consumer marketing, our vertical integration. It's all about developing differentiated product. Data is the backbone of all the decisions we make. We have that kind of Amazon principle in our business as well. And as Jeff said at the beginning, we have a company culture that, while we are a large brand, we have several large brands, we are very entrepreneurial, very scrappy, we're quick to adapt to change. So that's just kind of a part of our culture that I think led to our success ability to adapt over time to changes. So I kind of talked about our three-legged stool already, and so what I meant by that is that we were kind of stuck in this area where all of our revenue was coming from three channels: radio, catalog, and TV. And like I said, we were a one-hit wonder at Valentine's Day. And that's really when Amazon entered the picture. So let me give you some pie charts, kind of illustrate this a little better. This is our fiscal year 2014, our revenue distribution. So you can see the radio, TV, catalog, big pieces of this pie. Email marketing, which I didn't mention, but really that was a function of the other three. We were gaining email addresses and acquiring customers through the other channels. And then digital marketing at the time was mostly Google, Facebook starting to take a piece of that. And then Amazon here, you can see, as Katie mentioned, we started selling in 2010. So by 2014, we had already been on Amazon for 4 years, and yet it was only 1% of our business. And that's really because we didn't really know what we were doing, and we didn't have an Amazon strategy. We just kind of put our listings there and kind of waited to see what happens. We kind of ported them over in like this big data feed, and it was just crappy listings, and we weren't really paying attention to it. And we didn't really want, that was kind of by design. We purposefully were not trying to grow Amazon at this point in time because we were very scared of this channel. We were worried that Amazon was just going to cannibalize our existing business and deteriorate it. We were kind of like, why would we spend all of this money mailing catalogs, running radio, putting TV commercials out there? These are all fixed expenses. And then we're going to create all of this brand awareness, generate all of this demand, and the customer is just going to go to Amazon. We're not going to own the customer. We're paying Amazon a referral fee. We're not going to have as high of an average order value because on our website we have all sorts of bells and whistles where we get them to add chocolates and flowers and things like that. We're losing all of that. So we were very apprehensive that Amazon could fit within our business model. So fast forward a few years to 2017, and you can see Amazon grew to 18%. So what started to happen here is we really started to have a shift in thinking as it relates to Amazon and understand that it didn't necessarily need to be a cannibalistic channel. It could be incremental. And what started to kind of change our thinking is we started looking at a lot of our data, our Amazon data, and we started seeing some trends that stood out to us, like spikes in our Amazon sales that really had nothing to do with our off-Amazon advertising. So we were seeing people buy teddy bears for occasions that we weren't advertising for. So we were like, okay, this isn't all driven. There is demand naturally happening here for our products. It's not necessarily all driven from our own efforts. This is also the first year that we did fulfillment by Amazon. We got the Prime badge on our listings for the first time, something also we were very apprehensive of trying. And here's where we are today. In 2019, Amazon is now 46% of our business, almost half of our business. And here's where we're planning on going by 2021 with Amazon at 61%. So, Peter mentioned the term legacy brands, and I would say that if there were another type of legacy brand and a person from another type of legacy brand looking at these pie charts, they might say to me, like, Liz, what are you doing? Like, Amazon is eating your business. Like, literally, that's what it looks like. It looks like Amazon's eating the rest of your channels, deteriorating your business. You're putting way too many eggs in this basket, and you used to have a three-legged stool, and now you're going to have a one-legged stool with Amazon taking things over. But that's before I showed you any revenue numbers. So let me add in some numbers here. And you can see that we went from 40 million to 50 million to 70 million and are planning to be a $90 million business by 2021. So what the numbers really show is while Amazon was becoming a bigger percentage, the rest of our channels were actually growing at the same time. So we've discovered that Amazon can be additive and all tides will rise. So this took years to kind of change the mindset and the thinking of our company. We knew that in order to be successful on Amazon, we did need to develop a strategy, and we did need to figure out how to kind of change our organization, change our culture, change our thinking, and establish Amazon as a core part of our business. So this was controversial. It took a couple of years to really convince people. We had people from all levels of the business, including members of the senior leadership team, that just really thought it would be bad for our business, bad for our brands, if we started selling our products on Amazon. And it was controversial. We had people leave the company over this. But we really took a lot of education, explaining, what we were doing here. Complete change of org chart and processes to say, okay, where you have to establish this throughout every department. So, product development, you might have one way of developing product for radio and TV. Let's start to learn now how to develop product for Amazon. It's a completely different ballgame. There's different tools. Same thing with a department like inventory control. We called it Amazon Equal Processes. Here's how I do inventory control for our own website, and here's how I'm managing inventory on Amazon. So really, another part of our success, I would say, are kind of the two pillars of product and brand. And this has to do with our success in the e-commerce space and on Amazon specifically. So our goal is that we're developing what we call meaningfully unique products. So we're not developing commodity items or trying to compete on price point or developing generic products. Our products are at a higher price point. We're in the top kind of tier within our categories. We're definitely not competing with like an Amazon Basics kind of price point. And the reason why we can do that is we try to make sure that every product that we develop has what we call a feature, function, benefit statement. So what are the unique features of this product? The function, what can it do for the customer? And the benefit, what are they going to get out of it? And then we try to make sure that that's coming across in all of our marketing and selling. So you need to have product differentiation. But you need to keep on going from there. You can have a great product, but you also need a brand story. So for all of our brands, we've come up with our big three, our core brand attributes. So for Vermont Teddy Bear, it's about our expertise, our quality, including our lifetime guarantee, and that our designs are exclusive and you can't find our materials, the designs, the body styles of our stuffed animals. You can't find these things anywhere else. So really you have to come up with what are your big three, and then make sure that you're highlighting them in every single thing that your brand is doing. Every Facebook post, every email, if you have EBC, all of your alt images, make sure that all of these things are dripping with your brand story. So I kind of want to share with you a case study of something very recent, just last month, Easter 2019, to kind of give you some more specifics about how we're approaching our Amazon strategies. So this graph up here is our calendar year 2018 Amazon sales. And you can see it's very spiky, right? We've got 3 spikes, 2 big ones. So the first one is February, Valentine's Day. The last one, of course, is November, December for holiday. And then in the middle, we have a smaller spike for Prime Day. So anyone kind of looking at this graph would say, okay, your business goal should be figuring out how to get more spikes, right? And that's very, very obvious looking at how seasonal we are. So of course, that was our goal. And we did some research to find out, okay, what is another spike that there is already demand on Amazon for that our products could fit into that maybe we just haven't been focusing on? Maybe we don't have the right products. Maybe we haven't been advertising for that occasion. And so after doing some research on the Amazon Marketplace, we identified Easter as an opportunity that we could go after. People are buying stuffed animals for Easter. We just had never focused on that occasion. So our goal is to build a new holiday peak, and we chose the Amazon Marketplace as our strategy of getting out there. So we also did a lot of product research as well, using Amazon tools to make sure that we were going out there with the right products. So this campaign did include developing some new products specifically for the Easter reason, and also taking a look at our price points. That's one of the things that we learned as well. We had people are willing to spend more on teddy bears and stuffed animals at like Christmas and for a Valentine's Day gift for their wife than they are for their kids, like in the Easter basket sort of thing. So we had to develop, we developed some new products, but then we also had some existing products that we said we could put into this campaign as well, kind of some of our best-selling teddy bears that aren't necessarily specific to Easter, but would sell as teddy bears for this time of year. And we set a goal for ourselves of $100,000 of revenue in year 1 and said, okay, if we can come up with an Easter campaign this year, test it relatively small and generate $100,000 of revenue, we think we can come back in year 2 with another spike on our graph of $500,000. And we identified that we were going to do this over a 3-week campaign. So Easter was April 21st. We started on 3/31. And the way we kind of structured our campaign was we said, okay, the first 2 weeks are going to be all about really being really aggressive in the beginning, gaining some momentum, getting these products ranked and organically and optimized for Easter. And then the third week, the week leading up to Easter, is when all the demand is. Easter is kind of a last-minute holiday we kind of discovered from the sales trends from previous years. So people are, especially Amazon Prime members who are used to 1- and 2-day delivery, they will wait until like Wednesday or Thursday of Easter week to kind of make sure they've got everything all together for their baskets, for their gifts. So our goal was to really be really aggressive in the first 2 weeks, and then kind of, Peter used the term halo effect, kind of have that halo effect working for us that third week. So by the third week, when there's a ton of demand, we'd be fully optimized and just there to capture the traffic and the demand that's naturally occurring on Amazon. So in order to kind of test the Easter, whether Easter would work for us, we wanted to come up with an integrated marketing campaign and come up with multiple tactics that we could use to drive traffic for Easter and see if we could sell our products. So this was our list of tactics, and I'm going to go through each one of them in a little bit more detail. So the first one is our Amazon storefront, or I think they're calling them just stores now, because Amazon likes to change the name of everything to confuse us. So I think it's an Amazon store. So our store is really important to us. For us, it's really like our destination on Amazon for our brand. And we kind of think of it as like our website within Amazon's website. So we drive a lot of our off-Amazon traffic through our store, because going back to the whole idea of how important product is and how important brand is, this is our opportunity, and really one of our only opportunities, to merchandise our products on Amazon the way we want them. We're in control. There's no algorithm here. We get to put our highest forecasted product right front and center with a beautiful environment shot, and then put our lower forecasted products a little bit further down. And we also are in control of getting to tell our brand story, making sure we're highlighting our big 3 and all of that. So we definitely treat it as our own, just like we would treat our own website. One of the other things we really like about the store is the Amazon Insights section of analytics that you get with the store. So we kind of liken it to a very basic, light version of Google Analytics for your own website, because you can get session data, traffic data, conversion information, all from the insights. And really the number one part of insights that we like the most are actually the source tags. We use those quite a bit. So if you're not familiar with those are just a little tag you can put at the end of a URL and use that URL for your off-Amazon marketing. So like if you're doing an email and sending people over to your store, or Facebook posts or something like that, you can add a source tag in the URL, and then you can use that to figure out your revenue attribution for that email. You can actually see, okay, this email drove 10,000 visits to the storefront page and 100 orders. So it's really good. Up until then, we really were flying blind with a lot of attribution metrics. Okay, so product detail page optimization. It sounds like there's going to be more content on this later on in the conference, and I wasn't planning on going into a ton of detail on it, because I also know that you guys are advanced sellers and you understand a lot about how important the product detail page is. But what I just say is, we are very careful that we do not even open a listing. We do not send an ounce of traffic to our listings until we feel that they are dripping with conversion-focused content. And this is another way that we're kind of highlighting our brand attributes, our feature function benefits of our content. This star rating I did want to talk about, because I think it's, everyone knows how important the star ratings are. It's kind of an obvious thing, and I'm sure you're all paying attention to them, but I did want to share our approach to them, because we do consider all of our customer reviews and our ability to respond to them part of the content of our product detail page, and we consider this part of detail page optimization. So this is one of the products that we actually chose that was an existing product that we decided to go after for Easter. So you can see people really like this teddy bear on Amazon. It's 319 star ratings and 4.7 stars. So you might think, okay, we kind of have like a false sense of security, and maybe weren't paying as much attention to this product's reviews as we might be to like one of the ones that we were launching brand new out of the gate and getting its very first reviews. But what we've really learned is the way we approach product reviews is we think of them the same way we would think if a customer was emailing us directly with this feedback. We consider them customer contact points that we want to make sure that we respond to every single one of them. So here's an example. This product did get a one star, and they said, birthday present for my 5-year-old granddaughter. Though she loves the bear, after only a few days, she found a hole in it. It sits in my sewing room for repair, which I must make before she returns it in a few days. Very disappointed. So of course, when we read a review like this, we're horrified. There was a hole in the teddy bear. You know, like we're all about quality and craftsmanship. We sell expensive teddy bears, so obviously a hole is like the worst thing. So, you know, we post a public response here. We say, thank you for letting us know. We are so sorry to hear this. All of our bears, including those purchased on Amazon, come with our lifetime guarantee. Please contact us so that we can make this right. So what we're doing here is we're kind of taking this one-star review, which is really an unfortunate thing that we were kind of bummed out about, and we're trying to kind of spin it in a way that makes sure that the customers who are going through and reading the reviews, they know, okay, hey, this is a real company, they're real people, they care, and we used it as an opportunity to put more content on our page. We used it as an opportunity to reinforce our quality and our lifetime guarantee. So make sure you're taking advantage of all these sorts of opportunities to add more conversion content onto your page. Here's another example where the person was saying that the bear shed, and they left a one-star review. So we were able to respond and say, you know, because we strive to find super soft, thick furs, sometimes your bear may come home with a little extra fur. You know, it's kind of like a wool rug. Don't worry. Run your fingers through it a few times. Give it a few shakes. This should make the loose fur kind of fall off. And if this doesn't resolve it, please contact us. So again, you know, it kind of, somebody reading this one-star review might just say, oh, I don't want to have that problem, like the bear shed. But by being able to kind of respond and say, don't worry, it's fine, other customers are going to see this, and we're hopefully going to have a stronger conversion rate. So the other thing with product detail page that I would recommend is to really come up with a checklist. Make sure this is like an institutionalized process within your business, especially as I'm sure many of you have gotten to the point where you've scaled to the point where this is now not necessarily your responsibility anymore, and you have somebody else on your team building your product detail pages. This was ours. I mentioned, you know, that part of our Amazon journey was to really develop our processes and our Amazon teams. So we now have a person and a team that's responsible for building all of our listings, and we make sure that they have, you know, this checklist of, you know, this is our checklist. It might not be exactly yours, but we're making sure we're looking at our pricing. We're looking at all of the product content on the page, images, a video, EBC. For us, we're a gift company, so deciding whether we're going to have messaging or packaging turned on, enrolling in the early reviewer program. These are the things that we're not going to open a listing until we've made sure that we've gone through this checklist. So I would encourage everyone to kind of develop yours. And then the last thing kind of related to the product page itself, this kind of spans into advertising as well, is making sure that you have an ASIN keyword strategy. And so by this, I mean, make sure that you're being strategic in deciding, okay, here are all the products in my catalog, and here are all of the highest search volume keywords in my category. I think what we used to do is say, okay, here's all the keywords, and here's all of our products, and all of our products are going after all of these keywords, and we're gonna make sure that we're keyword optimized, so we have as many keywords as possible, and we're gonna rank, all of our products are gonna rank for all of these. Which, you know, not to say that we're completely abandoning that, and that we do have multiple keywords and make sure that we're trying to rank for multiple things. We kind of reined it in a little bit and said, okay, let's take a step back here and say, you know, here's our product catalog. Here are all the keywords in our category. Let's try to have a one-to-one pairing and say, you know what, this is the product that its main purpose is to win on the word teddy bear. And that's what I'm going to focus on for this product. This next one, this is the best one in my line for Easter teddy bear. And here's one for pink teddy bear, giant teddy bear, and so on and so forth. And this isn't also to say so then what you can do is you can put your advertising dollars behind. You can not only have your listing optimized for that product for teddy bear, but you make sure that you're being really aggressive on that term in your PPC as well. And for us, because we have kind of a large catalog, we have a number of products that are actually going after the term teddy bear, because I'm sure with your category as well, there is one term that's probably one of the more generic ones that is taking most of the volume at the top. And for us, it's teddy bear. And so we do have multiple products that are going after the term teddy bear because that term is large enough that it warrants multiple products. And what we can kind of do is we can start with one and say, okay, I'm going to focus on this product for the next 4 weeks for the term teddy bear, be really aggressive with my PPC. And then once it's starting to rank organically, you can back off of that product a little bit and start switching your ad dollars. Not to say you wouldn't stop bidding completely, but stop being so aggressive and start switching to the next product until you have multiple products ranking on page 1 and 2 for that keyword. All right, so another tactic that was on my list of Easter campaign 2019 was deals. And this might mean like a formal deal, like you are actually on the Today's Deal page on Amazon with a lightning deal, or we do best deals a lot. Or it could just be a price change that you put the product on a discount. And for us, it's usually about a 15 to 20% discount that we're giving. And it's really about the beginning of that campaign. I mentioned the first 2 weeks being aggressive. What we do is we're able to set a SMART goal. We set a goal, and it's based on, it's going to depend on your category, the time of year, and how competitive things are for you at that moment. But we might say, okay, for us at Easter, it was about 30 units. We're going to sell 30 units of this ASIN at a 20% discount. And that's going to be enough to kind of spike it in the algorithm. And then there'll be a halo effect from those sales, and we can start to step up the pricing back up to our 15 to 20% up. Giveaways are kind of another tactic in our campaign that are also kind of related. So we run a couple of different kinds of giveaways. The one on the left is actually a Facebook ad that we did that was to our own fans on Facebook as well as some prospects that we were giving out actually 50% off coupon codes for that product. And then the one on the right is the actual official Amazon giveaways. So what we've kind of found is that in isolation, giving away product or discounting product deeply isn't necessarily going to be like the only tactic that you need, but when combined with a lot of other tactics, they do contribute to a sales spike, the kind of sales spike that Amazon's looking for to kind of boost your product up in the rankings. And then emails. Emails are a really important strategy for us. Amazon loves to see traffic from multiple places. They do really value outside traffic going to a listing, and they really value conversion rate, right? We talked about that earlier today. It's all about traffic and conversion, and email can kind of be the best of both worlds because your email file, they're more qualified than the general population. They've interacted with your brand already. They signed up to hear from you. So when we can send an email out to our house file, it clicks through to Amazon, they see that outside traffic, they see a higher than usual conversion rate, it really makes the algorithm kind of say, whoa, something's going on with this product. I want to give it more visibility because people seem to like it. And then Amazon advertising, of course. There's going to be lots of sessions about advertising later today. But so I won't go into too much detail, but the way we are thinking about advertising is really as an investment in the future a lot of times when it's part of a launch campaign like this one was. So what we'll do, again, in those 2 weeks, we're trying to be more aggressive. We are willing to spend at a loss or spend at break even to invest in those products and get the momentum going. We're kind of thinking of it as like our grand opening. How much are you willing to invest in your grand opening? So we might have ad cost goal thresholds that are not the most profitable right out of the gate, but what we'll see is we can start to optimize down and kind of ride the wave and kind of live on that halo effect so that by the third week of the campaign, the week of Easter, when there actually is all that organic demand, we are now ranking. And last campaign tactic was actually Amazon Live. And these screen caps are from the one we did at Valentine's Day. I didn't actually have screen caps from Easter, but we did test this at both Valentine's Day and Easter. And really, the reason why I'm including this one is just to kind of show that one of our strategies is also to test every tactic that Amazon puts out there. We're always kind of have our eyes and ears open to what's the new thing that Amazon, what's the new lever they're gonna put out here that we can try. We're trying to get as many tools in our arsenal as possible so that we can be testing, what's the next tactic that might work for us. So for Amazon Live, we were able to live stream similar to what you would do on like Facebook. It goes on a dedicated landing page on Amazon. I think it's amazon.com/live, as well as on your product pages, and you can do it on your storefront as well. And so this is just another way of, another traffic source, another part of the campaign. So once again, here's kind of everything that we just walked through, all the pieces of this campaign. And the most important part of this is I'm not necessarily trying to give you like a blueprint and say like this is exactly how you have to do a launch campaign, because these might not be the exact ones that are going to work for your brand, or for me it was Easter, for you it might not be. But really, I think the larger point and what we've found success in is this idea of kind of pulling all these levers at once and having multiple tactics, multiple traffic sources, different ways of driving sales from different campaign types of tactics. That has really been what we've found to be like very foolproof and kind of the fastest way of getting Amazon to kind of boost your products up. And here's an example, a really cool example of what happens when it pops. So what happens when you know that things are working, when you know that Amazon's, the algorithm's noticing things. So this is actually a screen cap of part of the Amazon Easter gift guide this past year. And about a week into our campaign, where we're always poking around, seeing what Amazon's doing, and we noticed that they had taken our product image and put it in this banner at the top of this gallery. We didn't talk to anybody at Amazon about this. We didn't pay for this placement. So Amazon is going to give you, placements like this when they start to see, okay, something's going on with this product. It's got a high conversion rate, it's got really good brand content, it's a super cute image. They took it and put it in this banner. And what was actually even more interesting is when we first saw this, we were like, oh wow, cool. Somebody on Amazon like that bunny. You can see in this screen cap, the bunny itself is actually the first one listed here. When we actually first saw it, we were on like page 5. You can see there's 182 products, I think, were in this part of their Easter gift guide. We were on like page 5 or page 6. So it was kind of weird because we were like, oh, they put our image up in the banner, but you actually have to scroll like 5 pages to actually find the product. Well, after like another week of our campaign, that product had naturally moved up to the first slot. So by the time we got to like the 10 days leading up to Easter, we were number 1 there, and we sold out of this product actually before, probably about, I think, the Friday before Easter. So let me share with you some more results of the campaign. So I mentioned our goal was $100,000 for year 1, so we just surpassed that, and we're able to do $113,000, and that's a 145% year-over-year increase. So we got another spike on our graph, which was awesome. And that year-over-year comparison is not actually what the graph shows, although it looks like it does, but we have to compare. Easter was April 1st in 2018, so that's actually the 3 weeks leading up to Easter this year compared to the 3 weeks leading up to Easter last year. One of the things we did find was we had a lower average order value, but last year, in the 3 weeks leading up to Easter, our average sales per order item was about $75, and this year it was $47. And that, again, was by design. We specifically developed product with a lower price point for this campaign, and you can see it in the numbers. So based on this, we are going to do a year 2 rollout and go after the $500,000 for next year, and then have a true another spike on our yearly graph there. We're going to develop more products specifically to Easter. Now we have even more data based on our own sales. We'll invest in more content. We didn't do any video. We only took a couple images of product like in an Easter setting. So we'll definitely invest in more content, and we'll figure out more advertising opportunities. And you might kind of be thinking, well, is this really a sound business strategy? It's still very seasonal. You just put all this effort into launching these products for just 3 weeks, and then you're going to wait a whole another year to do it again. But we do have some ideas on our business is seasonal, so that is always a challenge for us. That's the nature of a gift company. But we do have some strategies that are going to help us with this. So, some of the products that were part of this campaign are going to drive year-round volume. They aren't necessarily specific to Easter. They can rank all year long for just the term teddy bear. So that's kind of the first thing. The second one is, one of the bears that we introduced for Easter was a teddy bear wearing a Happy Easter bow tie. That one did very, very well. Well, for Mother's Day, we're going to add a variation to that listing. We're going to add the same bear, variation, Happy Mother's Day bow tie. So now we've set ourselves up for more success for Mother's Day because we're piggybacking off of a listing that already has ranking and star ratings, and we're adding another product to it. So you can keep on doing that sort of thing. And next year, we'll be able to relaunch. We won't be starting from square one. So I wanted to just kind of share another thing that we always talk about at our company is, wow, Amazon really has kind of a backwards approach to marketing. So some of the things I talked about, like if we were running this campaign on our own website and had nothing to do with Amazon, we would be doing things potentially the complete opposite. This whole concept of pricing low to start. You would never do that with a marketing campaign that you're running on your own website. You would start it at the price that you want to sell it at, and you would only lower it if you needed to, if it wasn't selling well. This concept of starting early and spending your ad dollars weeks before your main occasion. We would never do that. I would never say, hey, let's start running our TV ad for Easter 3-4 weeks before Easter. No, you want to save your advertising dollars for when the conversion rate is going to be highest. This concept of, on Amazon, you don't want to have to sell out and close your listing. Well, on our own website, yeah, we want to sell out of everything. That's fine. We're not going to damage our product listing on our own website. Not falling in love with your product. With Amazon, we understand that not all products are going to be a winner. Yes, we love them all, but you do have to kind of take yourself out of it and say, okay, I ran this whole campaign. There's 10 products here. One of them it didn't work. Like, we're going to cut that product. You can't be too emotionally tied to them. And then this concept of leveraging current demand versus incremental demand. Our product development team years ago, we used to say to them, okay, you guys have to invent the next new thing that no one's heard about. And so we came up with things like the hoodie footy, which is our invention. It's our trademark term. If you don't know what a hoodie footy is, it's a onesie pajama with a hood and feet. When we first invented that product 10 years ago, no one was searching for the phrase hoodie footy. But we created it. We went out there with demand-generating marketing tactics, and now it is a search term. What we're saying to our product development team now for Amazon is, don't invent something brand new that no one's searching for. Use search term data and do research to figure out what's the meaningfully unique, differentiated product that we can invent, that we can introduce that there's already demand for, and then we can come in there with product differentiation. So for us, it wasn't just about changing our organizational structure and to adapt to Amazon. We really needed to change our thinking because a lot of it is the opposite of what we had been doing. So I just wanted to end with the pie chart again of 2019, where we are today, and just to kind of summarize for us, what we have now is a much more diversified marketing mix. And we have some channels where we are going after demand that already exists, like Amazon, and just trying to figure out how to be there to get our products to be visible and capture that demand. And then we still have other channels where we're going out there and we're drumming up new demand. And really what for us, it was all about saying, okay, we can't keep our head in the sand anymore. We can't keep our blinders on. Amazon's happening. It's 50% of revenue. We needed to develop a strategy. And in doing so, we were really able to identify, okay, yes, Amazon is a monster. It's a beast. It's changing every day. But when managed well and managed appropriately, it can really be additive to your overall strategy. And that's the main lesson that we learned. So, thank you.
Okay, did you guys feel the fire hose there? I was texting with somebody in the room, and I was saying they were complimenting you.
Oh, thank you.
And how amazing you did. So thank you.
Thank you, whoever that was.
And what we both said was, brands don't share this information. Like what you guys just had shared with you is just not shared by brands. And again, it goes back to the idea that, and this is something I learned by going to the Vermont Teddy Bear factory, because I saw like where they actually bring them in and fix them, the little medical tent. It's really there. And what I found was that you guys don't consider yourself an Amazon. You don't consider yourself a bear manufacturer or a pajama manufacturer. You guys actually consider yourselves like an Amazon marketing agency, right? Yeah. And I think it's a really interesting. It goes back to like what we talked about with Peter. They're looking at how do they get. They're a $50 million. They've got to do $50 million this year. How are they going to get there? And it's a different approach of how they approach their business. I think you could have redone this presentation on Pajamagram or on the Pajama Jeans or any of the other products. And they're also looking for what's the next 5th brand that they're going to launch with the same methodology. So what we really learned was the examples of that methodology. And thanks for sharing all of that. I'm sure that there's some questions. We're going to save them so we can just roll here.
Perfect.
And Liz will be available at lunch. One of the things we're going to do at lunch today, Liz and Colleen and Brian don't know this yet, but we have reserved we have some seats reserved for them at tables. So like if you want to race down and get to the Liz table, that's the table she'll be sitting at, and Colleen will be sitting at a table. So it'll be an opportunity for you to try to find them at lunch and not let them eat. But answer your questions. Yeah. And then, of course, they're all coming back at the end of the day. So thank you, Liz. It was awesome.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Oh.